Kia ora, good evening. David Bain is to face a retrial. The Solicitor General made the announcement this afternoon, 13 years and 1 day after Bain's family was found dead in their home in Dunedin. Shortly we'll hear from Kate Lynch on how the retrial will work. But first, Tristram Clayton joins us live from Te Kaupata, where Bain is living with his biggest supporter, Joe Karam. Tristram.
Mike, the pair heard the news here at home in Te Kaupata just about an hour and a half ago. This is how they broke the news to the media. On the shortest day of the year, it came as the darkest possible news. What's the news, Joe?
The Solicitor General has decided to proceed with a retrial, and he's given very brief reasons for doing so, and respect must be taken of his decision. He's very seriously pointed out the issues relating to contempt of court, which means it's not appropriate to discuss evidence or possible verdicts and anything of that nature.
Joe Karam broke the news to reporters outside his Te Kaupata house.
It's been a very long road to clearing David's name. I think we've made marvellous progress in the last few years. It looks like the final step's just going to take a little bit longer than what we thought.
You did always suspect this though, didn't you?
Well, of course, it was provided for in the Privy Council decision. I mean, they didn't say there shouldn't be, and they didn't say there should be. They've left it up to the authorities. The authority is the Solicitor General, and the Solicitor General has made his decision.
But amongst the gloom, some good news. A job for Bain at one of the local businesses.
It's with PGG Wrightson's here in Te Kaupata, and they've very kindly offered to give me just some casual work just to help me settle into the place. I'm really looking forward to getting involved in it and just finding some, as I said earlier on, some normality in life. So.
Do you know what you'll exactly be doing at this stage?
A little bit of stock maintenance, maybe a bit of administration. I've only just set the job, so it'll be taking place probably in the next week or two.
But for the moment, Bain's mind is elsewhere.
We've just been out for a game of golf, and I'm just going to relax at home, and we'll discuss all the ramifications of things for the future, but I've got a real good support team here.
Mike, I was standing in this very spot 6 weeks ago when the news came through that David Bain had been granted bail. On that occasion, there were cheers and shouts of joy coming from in the house. There was even tears of joy. Today, none of that. Not a great lot of emotion either way, but a kind of steely determination to see the job through, to get the job finished.
Tristram, thank you.
And John Campbell will talk in more detail to Joe Karam at 7 tonight. Today's decision throws up some interesting questions. Where will a trial be held? How difficult will it be to find 12 impartial jurors? And has the Crown really got the evidence to secure a second conviction? To try to answer some of those questions, Kate Lynch joins us live from the High Court in Auckland. Kate.
In answer to that first question, where will the trial be held? Well, it's looking like the High Court in Dunedin early next year. It was a suggestion made by the Solicitor General in his statement late this afternoon. 6 weeks after the Privy Council decision, the Solicitor General finally told David Bain that he has to face the 5 murder charges again.
I have determined that it is appropriate that the retrial of Mr. Bain continues as ordered by the Privy Council.
He refused to answer questions but read out a statement explaining why the retrial should go ahead.
The Privy Council explained that its judgment makes no comment at all on whether or not Mr. Bain is guilty or innocent. The Privy Council has said his guilt or innocence in the light of the new evidence has to be decided by a jury.
These are some of the factors he took into account. The seriousness of the crimes, the time David Bain has already spent in jail, the availability of witnesses and exhibits, the length of time since the murders occurred, the ability of Bain to get a fair trial, and the strengths and weaknesses of the prosecution case. Legal observers believe it's the right decision.
The way the system works is we have trials in front of juries. We have trials in front of juries if the trial can be fair, and if we think there is what lawyers call a prima facie case, that is a case to answer at first instance. So if there's enough evidence from which a jury could convict, not would, but could, and the proceedings can be fair, then usually the trial can be held.
But a new trial 12 years after the last one will be fraught with difficulties.
There'll be some issues, I would imagine, in respect of jury selection. The Crown and defence will have some issues about selecting a fair and unbiased jury. There'll be issues about the media coverage in the case and suppression orders. There'll be issues about possibly grants of legal aid and access to resources so David Bain can defend himself properly.
A lot of this new trial will come down to fresh evidence on both sides.
So all the Privy Council said was that David Bain is entitled to present that evidence to the jury to see what they make of it. But of course the Crown is going to present their evidence as well. What all this really amounts to is a good reason to have a trial, assuming it can be held fairly, and that's what the Solicitor General has decided today.
After 6 years of fighting to have his convictions overturned, his lawyers say they're ready to prove he's not guilty.
The first trial, no witnesses for the defence. Second trial, we will have a large number of witnesses. It'll be interesting to know just exactly how many of the original witnesses that the Crown can produce. And that's going to have an enormous effect on this trial.
This will be the third time evidence against Bain will be heard by a court of law. Experts say it'll be the Crown's last chance to put Bain in the dock.
Hilary, we've heard little from the police at this stage, but we do know they're keen for the trial to be televised because they would like the New Zealand public to hear all of the evidence and better understand the case.
So, Kate, what happens to Bain now? Is it back to jail?
According to his lawyer, Tony Bouchier, no. Despite the fact that he's a man facing 5 murder charges, it won't affect his bail conditions at all.
Kate, thank you.